Welcome to this audiovisual presentation by Dr. Leandro Herrero, CEO of the Chalfont Project. Over the next half an hour, Dr. Herrero shares his insights into the world of innovation with a large group of scientists of a global agricultural company. He focuses on the key behaviours needed to create a culture of innovation. He describes 4 behavioural drivers that are needed in the behavioural DNA of any company that truly wants to innovate. Dr. Herrero also discusses the excess of analytical skills and the obsessive focus on processes in many Me Too companies and how these are real barriers for innovation. Dr. Herrero is a prolific author and provocative speaker. He practiced for many years as a psychiatrist before taking up senior positions in global companies. In 2000 he founded the consulting company, the Chalfont Project, where he is CEO.
Thanks very much. After all this introduction of being inspirational and everything, I don't know what I'm going to do. But thanks for coming anyway. Like the airplane says these days, we know that there is a choice of airlines, or there's a choice, so thanks for coming, because it's the last time, the last part of the day, and you are tired, and I'm tired as well, so let's share the tiredness here. Innovation. Let's start with make a blunt statement, like many I'm going to take the liberty of making for the rest of the half an hour. Most companies are Me Too companies. They're the same. Some of you may think that that's not the case, and you know they are very different, but let's face it, they are look the same, smell the same, feel the same, are managed in the same way. Could you read this with me, because it's a sad part for the day. The surplus society has a surplus of similar companies, employing similar people with similar educational backgrounds, working in similar jobs, coming up with similar ideas, producing similar things with similar prices and similar quality. And after that, I need a beer. There is no way out. So that's where we are. And also, the problem is that we are not very good, whether you are small, big, or any industry, at this business of change, which is the business I'm working on. We are not very good. We don't know how to do that. So we are a bit stuck there. And also, management hasn't help anything, because we keep having the same management systems and ways and performance like anybody else has, mainly Anglo-Saxon, by the way, and Anglo-American, or whatever you want to call them. So we are stuck with more of the same all the time. On the other hand, as an ex-psychiatrist or psychiatrist, I collect definitions of insanity, and this is one. Insanity is to carry on doing things in the same old way and expect different results. So I'm applying the same to innovation. I'm saying you carry on the same stuff. I don't know what innovation is, but certainly it's not going to come from anywhere. So many of you, your leaders, yourselves, myself, articulate from time to time this desire. We want to have a culture of innovation. You know, that's a legitimate thing to say. We say that, and we then put some energy on say, well, how can we do that? But it's something that it will be very reasonable for leaders to say, we want a culture of innovation. I don't think I'm saying anything strange to you, because you're a company very based on, for what I know, on research, etc., so that's okay. The problem is that then we start asking questions like, are we talking about product innovation, or idea innovation, or breakthroughs, or continuous improvements, or something like that, and we can start for years debating that without doing any innovation. Because we are debating whether we want the continuous improvement or the breakthroughs or whatever it is. My approach here is a little bit different. I want to share with you, which in a simplistic way I would say I don't care much about that, which I do. But I don't care, because what I'm trying to see is whether there is some sort of behavioral fabric that put in somewhere produces something. In some cases may become a breakthrough, in some cases may be more continuous, but it's the behavioral fabric that interests me more than the outcome. Obviously, I would be more interested in an outcome if I were in charge of a company looking for a breakthrough versus a small product, but that's not my interest here. So let's deal with the question of culture. If I ask you what culture is, we can be as well here for hours debating what it is and having lots of wonderful definitions, but most of us somehow think of culture like a container where we have these things that are values and beliefs, and maybe you and your leaders say about that, the rules of the games, there are attitudes, there are logos certainly. The physical environment is certainly part of the culture because it depends on whether you work in an open space or no, whether it's friendly or not. Behaviors, norms, mindsets, attitudes. So we have all this bouillabaisse of all these things. Say, well, this is culture. And then the problem with that is that I can see what a logo is, and I can see what a rule probably is. Certainly I can see the physical environment. If you start talking to me about mindsets and attitudes, I have a problem because I don't really know what it is. There's an old article I wrote a while ago just to provoke the discussion. I've been practicing as a psychiatrist for 15 years, and I've never seen a mindset, let alone treating one. So I don't know what it is. So if we are going to talk about having the right mindset or changing the attitude, we are stuck as well, because I don't know what to do with that. What I do not what to do is with behaviors. If I see people doing something, whether different things done, when they do, I'm very pleased to then say, oh, that's a culture of innovation, or that's a culture of whatever it is. That I can understand that. And I can do something with behaviors, but I don't know what to do with mindsets. I don't know about you, but I just don't know. So whether it's you want a culture of accountability, or a culture of innovation, or whatever it is, give me, and I suggest to you that this is the change, the mental change that you have to do, or we have to do, tell me what behaviors you want to see happening in your organization that are repeated, that are there. People doing things or not doing things. That when they are doing, you are very happy to put a label and say, that's entrepreneurship, or that's innovation, or that's whatever it is. But don't start with the label, because you start with the label, you're going to have this container where you are going to have to put things like having the right attitude too, in which case you're going to be stuck as well. So the behavioral approach, which is the one that I'm biased by for my background and the kind of work that I do, is the one I'm going to stress a little bit more here, and that explains the title of the talk, which is also the title of an old article. It says, "Forget culture, change behavior." It's a provocation on saying we can't talk about culture all the time, but you know what? We are stuck with that. Tell me which behaviors you want, and tell me what behaviors we can change or we want to have in the system, and then I'll tell you what I need. But behaviors, of course, don't happen in isolation, you're going to tell me. They are somewhere. They are in a fabric that is what we said, the culture before. And yes, I agree. The organizational architecture of innovation, as I've seen for many years, and this is part of my work, and I don't claim I have done a research on 3 million CEOs to come with something like that. That's how I see it, are basically driven by three things. Behaviors, which is the one I'm going to talk a little bit more, skills and structures and processes. Because of what I'm saying, I'm going to treat these three things in a slightly different way today. On the behavioral side, I'm going to share with you what I see. They are the positive ones, the drivers that we need for innovation to create this behavioral fabric. In the skills and the processes, I'm going to take a slightly different view. I'm going to talk a little bit less and more on the ones that are impairing innovation, the ones that get in the way, the processes and some of the risks with some of the processes and some of the risks with the lack of some skills. So I'm taking by definition today a slightly negative view of that, because I don't have time to do the other way around, and I'm going to focus a little bit more on the behavioral side, because that's the nature of what I want to share with you.